What is up, book nerds and film nerds alike? Welcome to the new channel, Book Nerd Film Reviews, in which we will be doing rankings and video essays about the movies that have defined cinema. Today, we delve into the topic of Jaws, how Jaws defined a generation. In the years of cinema, few films have left a mark as Steven Spielberg's Jaws has. The movie was released in 1975. This thriller about a giant man-eating shark terrorizing a small beach town not only revolutionized filmmaking techniques but also profoundly shaped the cultural landscape of its time, which effects can be seen in modern day. From its impact on the film industry to its enduring legacy in pop culture, Jaws stands as a testament to the power of storytelling and the ability of a single film to define an entire generation. I mean, Steven Spielberg made one of the fakest looking sharks one of the most famous movie villains of all time. Few men could do such an amazing feat. But to understand how Jaws defined a generation, we must first delve into the cultural context of the 1970s. The United States was grappling with the post Vietnam War trauma and economic uncertainty. Amidst the backdrop, Jaws arrived in theaters, offering audiences an escape while tapping into the primal fears and anxieties. All the best horror movies have done this. We have Godzilla, which delved into the Japan's fear of the atomic bomb. We had and Jaws right here. I mean, Godzilla will get its own video in due time talking about how it capitalized on Japan's fear of the atomic bomb, but let's get back to Jaws. It was able to arrive into theaters, and the fear of the unknown lurking beneath the surface, represented by the monstrous shark, resonated deeply with a societal fear of uncertain times. This fear was amplified by the film setting, a picturesque beach town resort with the idyllic facade shattered by a relentless predator. I mean, this was an amazing film. I mean, this is one of Spielberg's best. It's often compared with Jurassic Park, which came out about 20 years later, give or take like 2 years. But it was amazing. It was able to use these fear of the unknown and these amazing creatures. In Jaws, it was the shark, and in Jurassic Park, it was the dinosaurs, most specifically the T-Rex. But I'm getting a little bit off topic. But let's talk about the cinematic revolution of Jaws. Technically, Jaws was a game changer. Steven Spielberg masterfully used suspense, coupled with John Williams' iconic score. It created a palpable sense of dread that kept audiences on the edge of their seats. The film's innovative shooting techniques included the mechanical shark, affectionately known as Bruce, set new standards for special effects and in creature features, influencing countless filmmakers that followed. I mean, Bruce, most people who see that movie know, you can tell Bruce is fake. He looks incredibly fake. But that's why it was so smart that Spielberg withheld shots of him. He's not even in half the movie. And even he doesn't really get to interact with the characters. It's more of his presence. More than anything. His presence is a bigger character than he is. Which, that even made it greater. So it's like the fear of the unknown. Which this will be another film essay coming up about the zone of interest. Uses the exact same thing. Our minds can create something scarier than what an actual filmmaker can ever think of. So it's amazing. And then the cultural phenomenon, beyond its technical achievements, Jaws became a cultural phenomenon. It was one of the biggest movies to employ an extensive marketing campaign, turning into a must-see event. Lines stretched around the theaters, and it created the iconic phrase, "You're gonna need a bigger boat," which entered the English lexicon and became one of the most iconic film quotes of all time. And its impact redefined the box office. This created the blockbuster. The reason why the MCU was so big, why Barbenheimer happened, these cinematic events were paved by Jaws. Even Star Wars ran because Jaws walked. Jaws was the godfather of the blockbuster. And then it has an amazing legacy. The legacy of Jaws has gone far beyond its initial release. not only launched Steven Spielberg's career into the stratosphere, but also paved the way for the summer blockbuster phenomenon, as I just said. The success of Jaws demonstrated the financial viability of wide releases and extensive marketing, forever changing how studios approach film distribution. Furthermore, it cemented Spielberg's reputation as a masterful storyteller. I mean, we didn't know what we were getting out of out of Spielberg because he was relatively young when this came out. His first movie, Sugarland Express, was alright. He was very okay, and then this was amazing. I mean, we can thank him for because this movie was so great. We got E.T., we got Jurassic Park, we got all the other movies that will come afterwards. I mean, Jaws is still relevant today. I mean, it got a bunch of sequels that didn't need to exist, but on its own, it's an amazing film. I mean, it's a timeless classic. I mean, this movie defined so many people's childhoods. This defined the 70s, probably into the 80s, and was a big part of a lot of people becoming film nerds. Like, even people who aren't, like, Academy film nerds, more like how I am, this movie tapped into, like, what cinema could be for the everyman. I mean, I'm sure it's, like, one of the big dad movies. It's, like, the one that every dad has to show his kids, and it becomes a part of everybody's childhood. I mean, even Quentin Tarantino said Jaws is a perfect movie. It achieved everything it went going for it. I mean, that is truly something I would say define a generation. I mean, few films I would say has had Jaws influence. I mean, yeah. So those are my thoughts on Jaws. Feel free to comment your thoughts on this movie down below. And what would you like to see next on this channel? This has been Book Nerd Film Reviews. Don't forget to like and subscribe to be notified when I upload my next video. Stay tuned for the Quentin Tarantino ranking coming very soon. So hit that bell notification to be notified when it releases. And comment down below, what's your favorite movie? Keep watching movies. I'll see you next time. Peace.